Be cool, Daddy-O. Because hell is a musical, hell is a musical. Musical hell. Stuck with Travolta and other people that you hate, but you have to do it anyway. Stuck in musical hell. With Lilz and Scott. Bonjour et bienvenue en enfer est une comédie musicale où la route de l'enfer est pavée d'intentions chorégraphes et razzmatazz. Je m'appelle Scott.
Je m'appelle Lilz.
Yeah, that was my surprise that I was going to do. I learned French for this.
Did you really learn French, or did you learn enough French?
I learned enough French.
Oh. Konnichiwa.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. Well, this is our first record in a while.
Yeah, it's been a bit. Like, we're not in, like, the highest of spirits. Like, I've got a bad cold, and Scott, you're recovering from some back stuff.
Yeah, that's why it took forever. So our Christmas episode was supposed to be in the apocalypse. If you didn't notice, I edited all of the references to Christmas out because I've had severe back problems, and it's been really hard for me to sit up in a chair. Like, lily pad, you can't see this right now, but like I have a few cushions underneath me, like hoisting me up, and I literally just planted myself in between the desk and my chair. So like I'm kind of like a Jim Henson Muppet right now.
Those cushions are load-bearing cushions?
Yeah, they're load-bearing cushions.
Oh, boy. But yeah, like, it's been a bit, and maybe we want to get our guest in on this, but I feel like we might be a little bit out of step, like, as far as podcasting. Would you agree with that, special guest, Patrick Berry?
Yeah. It indeed. Hi everyone. This is the first podcast I've done in probably over a year.
So just to get us all back into the swing of things, maybe it's best that we like do our little mic check exercises real quick. A little bit of that. Sibilance. Pleasantries for pleasant trees. Pleasantries for pleasant trees.
Whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, we'll be together whatever the weather, whether we like it or not.
The diner's meal was yummy. The diner made a yummy stew. Yummy, chunky beef stew.
Have you ever eaten a hamburger?
That is a what? Is that a tongue twister?
On the floor, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. Open the door. Get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
I have to tell you something.
Okay, I think we're back.
I was in a store and they had a VH copy of Theodore Rex.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
That's the only format you can watch that movie in.
That movie is so rare that like I may go back and buy it because
it's like a collector's item now.
Yeah, VHS collectors will like pay top dollar for it.
Wow,
that's the one with
by the time this episode,
one with Whoopi Goldberg and the dinosaur, right?
Yeah, the dinosaur is one of the voices of Superman. George Newbern.
Yeah, that's the one with Whoopi Goldberg and the dinosaur.
What if there was another like Whoopi Goldberg like dinosaur movie?
There's one that came out in like 2006 or something.
Yeah,
one of those ones
I think there might have been a dinosaur and Stella got her groove back.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the little velociraptor shows up and you're like, ah! Sus.
So what did we watch?
Oh boy. We watched the 1958 American musical romantic comedy film, Gigi.
Yeah. So this movie is considered like... It won every Oscar it was nominated for, but as time has gone on, this film is regarded for being like Shakespeare in Love or like The English Patient, like not deserving to win all the Oscars that it did.
Well, like, what was it up against that year?
Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, which I would have given it to, or the other one, The Defiant Ones, starring Sidney Poitier and Tony Curtis, which was like a huge movie for like its time, and it addressed like, you know, a very serious issue.
Right.
Like, and then this one.
So basically, it was up against a lot of things that have aged much more gracefully than this thing.
Well, but Cat on a Hot Tin Roof kind of addresses, like, Paul Newman's character is basically his, how do I put this? Like, there's a reason why The Simpsons did Cat on a Hot Tin Roof with Mr. Smithers.
Ah. I see.
That's what I'll say.
It addresses rich billionaire assistants and their rich culture. Rich
exactly.
cultural stew.
Well, the joke they did is, you're always talking about Mr. Burns. What is it with Mr. Burns? Don't ask me any questions.
Oh, right. Excellent. That's what that's.
But it was the 1950s, so they couldn't be upfront about it.
Correct.
What do you see in him? He's my good friend.
Yeah.
He's my
my chum.
He's
my pal.
He's my really neat
My good
dude.
time. My good time boy.
I think he's a funny guy.
But yeah, so this was up against Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
1958, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer presents The Funny Guy.
Well, the weird thing is, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof was Fox, I believe, and the Defiant Ones, I think, was United Artists, and then MGM made this.
Yeah, I went with MGM only because I have the Wikipedia page for Gigi up at the moment, and like I just looked at that. Well, that's in my head now.
So, this movie makes me uncomfortable. I hate this film so much.
Yeah.
Like I
It should appall you.
It's so. This is literally like a musical that should be an episode of To Catch a Predator. Like I was waiting for Chris Hansen to show up and be like, "Hiya, fella, what you doing?"
Yeah, like SVU, Law and Order episode. Maybe not that far.
Also, this movie is as French as Timothée Chalamet is. Now, this film is so problematic. This film, like how Vincent Minnelli looks, ages like milk.
It is a very problematic film that has aged so shittily. And at the same time, I would also point out that this is easily one of the stupidest things that I've ever seen. Like,
this movie is G. This film is G.
It's Gigi. That's the movie we watched. Gigi?
No, the rating. This film is rated G. I understand what you were trying to do, but I'm being so serious right now. This movie is intended for all audiences, but most of it is about being a kept person.
Yeah. Concubines.
Kept person.
Fun for the whole family.
Courtesans. Yeah, it's... I am so upset. I'm so mad. And, like, the way it starts with Maurice Chevalier, like,
well,
oh,
should we
hello.
Should we maybe get into why we picked this one, though, first?
I'm
Because
dying
I feel
to know.
like a part of this is simultaneously both mine and Pat's fault in many ways.
So I wanted to do a bland musical, a musical that's known for being awful and boring. And the top three are Brigadoon, which is the one I thought Lilz was going to pick. And then Gigi was the other one. And then I didn't even say My Fair Lady. But those are the three boringest musicals.
Wait, My Fair Lady was an option, too?
I didn't go with My
Rex
Fair...
Harrison jokes have I made throughout this podcast?
See if you can top it.
Woman be more like a man?
Well, Gigi is just My Fair Lady, and it came out before My Fair Lady.
I mean, I guess so.
It's very similar. To,
Yeah,
it's
So-
funny that you brought that up. And I don't hate My Fair Lady, and I think that would be a fun one for you guys to examine, especially with all the Rex Harrison.
Because
Jokes you could shoehorn in.
that's also a very stupid movie.
Well, also, My Fair Lady is another film that won Best Picture, and it beat Doctor Strangelove.
Oh, boy.
And it beat Mary Poppins.
Now, my mother liked My Fair Lady, and she made me go see like a semi-pro production of it when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and also made me watch the movie.
This was 2 years ago.
This was 2 years ago. No, this was like
Semi-pro. So they were playing basketball?
yeah. It took place in the courts of the Norwood Civic Center. It was very mildewy that day because it was in the middle of June or July. I'm sorry, it was in July. But
Is this like on The Simpsons when they went to see ballet at a basketball court?
oh yeah, there's a great scene where the Rex Harrison character's like, "Where the devil are my slippers?" and
Eliza Doolittle.
Les does a hook shot from all the way across the court is real impressive.
Hello, raindrops.
Up with the rock, you know.
Kobe, oh no,
So she didn't
Nothing
land
but
it.
net, baby.
So she didn't land it. It must have been an understudy that night.
No, she's a terrible.
The star would have landed that dunk.
Yeah,
So
brought
yeah,
in Ringer.
going back to how we picked this disaster of a film, I thought Lilz was going to pick Brigadoon.
Now,
I truly did.
let me touch on that for a second, because you pitched it to me initially as the choice between making fun of French accents or making fun of Irish accents, which apparently
Well,
we're
also
okay with both.
Well, do you know what the plot of Brigadoon is?
I do not, but I also did not know the plot of Gigi either, so I was going into this completely blind.
The plot of Brigadoon is two guys are hiking in the Irish countryside, and every 400 years, this magical land called Brigadoon shows up, and it's Gene Kelly and some other guy. No one gives a shit about the other guy. It's Gene Kelly.
Every 400 years. Oh.
And basically, they have to decide whether or not they're going to stay. But of course, it's handsome Gene Kelly, so he meets a dame.
Yeah, but like...
And it's not Debbie Reynolds tap dancing wrong.
400 years old, though. Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
That's what Schmigadoon is about.
Schmigadoon.
Like Schmigadoon ripped off Brigadoon. But yeah, so I literally, I was like, Liz will probably pick Brigadoon, and then you pick Gigi. I'm like, well, aren't you full of surprises?
Well, the thing that put it over the top for me was when I learned that Gigi features a starring turn from Maurice Chevalier, who is one of the most ridiculous and most French-like celebrities in the entirety of human history.
So I was saving this for when we started recording.
Like Maurice Chevalier basically makes everything that he's in more French by association.
So Leslie Caron, who plays Gigi, was born in 1931, so she was like 25, 26 when she made this movie. Maurice Chevalier was born in 1888. When he was a child, the railroad was being built.
That's
when
terrifying.
he was a child, riding around on his tricycle with his beret and a basket full of baguettes.
Yeah, but he had like a penny for
look at that. He had the same voice back then.
Hello, Cogsworth.
So he was born in the Victorian era. And this movie takes place in 1900, right? And he says something about like
he was there. He was on hand to get the historical details right.
I bet he was like, oh ho ho! I remember my first ride in an automobile.
I remember the 19th century.
That's something you have to get used to with Maurice Chevalier's presence in not just Gigi, but pretty much everything that he's ever in, is that he's delighted by everything that he sees.
I'm like a big scoop of tarragon butter.
Like, anytime he's just in anything, Like, regardless, like, you just get this general feeling that he's just excited about everything, just going like, ho, 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 look at that, ho, 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 wee, 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 ho, ho, ho.
That's over here, Pee-wee.
I mean, it must be hard to
What,
keep
he's
up.
not globy? He's not globy?
No.
Anyone not familiar with Maurice Chevalier, but is familiar with Disney, he sang the opening song to Aristocats. And even then, he's just like, whoa, look at that. There's a cat. Whoa, ho, ho, everybody. Ha, 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 I'm having fun.
Well, also, they based the voice of Lumiere after Maurice Chevalier. Jerry Orbach
Right,
did.
Jerry Orbach did the voice of that.
Yeah, and he based it after his friend Maurice Chevalier, but I'm pretty sure that if he had seen this film,
He'd be
Maurice,
delighted.
I don't
He'd
think
be
I want to be
delighted.
friends with you anymore.
He'd be delighted by it.
Well, do you know who's... I mentioned this in the
I
chat.
misunderstood you. I thought you meant if Maurice Chevalier saw Beauty and the Beast.
No, he was dead by 1972.
Oh, that is good. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I love it.
I am 110 years old now. It is 1991.
Yeah. So
How are these
this was
pictures moving on the screen? Is it some kind of witchcraft? I do not know, but I love it.
Maurice, you've been making films for like 70 years. When they invented the camera, you were in front of it.
Why aren't you dead yet? Ho, 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 I can't die now. There's still so much to see and be delighted by. Ho, ho, wee, wee.
So, yeah, I was saying in our group chat, this was the favorite...
This is a warning to any potential French listeners listening today. We're going to be doing this a lot.
Don't worry, we'll do a Jerry Lewis movie sometime. He must have made a musical at some point.
R.I.P. Maurice Chevalier, you would have loved Fortnite.
But yeah, so this was the favorite film of Little Edie Bouvier. In Grey Gardens, in the movie, in the documentary Grey Gardens, she's like, I just came back from watching Gigi, and it's absolutely marvelous. And,
Oh, that's right.
I want to be like, hard disagree, Little Edie.
I mean,
Hard disagree.
it was the 1950s. People liked terrible things back then.
Yeah, do you know what won the Oscar like 2 years previous? Around the World in 80 Days. Speaking of Rex
A
Harrison.
can of creamed beef would win the Oscar in 1958. Like that like
No, that went to How Green Was My Valley.
okay. A kind of chipped beef, but slightly more vegetarian.
Now, I just like watching this entire movie. So this is based on a book, and they had to change the ages from the book because in the book, Gigi is supposed to be 15, turning 16. Creepy as hell.
Like, yeah, we cannot legally make this film.
Even the 1950s wouldn't have stood for that.
Right. So they're like, she's 18. Not better. And this film should not exist.
It really shouldn't. Definitely not today.
No, this film is just like the aunt is awful. The aunt is a horrible person.
The aunt is the one that's like giving Gigi all those lessons, right?
Yep.
She sucked. She was fucking awful.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And then-
reprehensible characters in this film, like all of them, basically.
Yeah, even Maurice Chevalier is awful. He's like, I'm a womanizer. Come on, Cogsworth.
And he just
give her a
he
tour.
He just disarms you because it's Maurice Chevalier, and he's just constantly going like, oh, ha, ha, wee, wee.
Oh, Cogsworth, he's hungry. Let him eat.
He does.
I'm just gonna be doing lines from Beauty and the Beast.
He does kind of have that quality to him, where he could just be like, "Ha ha! I'm just back from kicking puppies," and everyone was just like, "Oh, you delightful Frenchman!"
Wait, what?
And it wouldn't be until later, and they were just like, "Wait a minute."
That would be like a great like Phil Hartman SNL sketch where he's the one person who can hear what he's saying. Like, do you remember when they did the Mr. Belvedere sketch?
No, I don't know that one.
Oh, well, it's Tom Hanks, and basically Phil Hartman is sitting in on this this meeting of the Mr. Belvedere fan club, and it turns out they're all stalkers and they want to kill the actor who plays Mr. Belvedere, and he's like, this is wrong. That's what this would be like. That's what that sketch would be like. Maurice Chevalier saying like horrible stuff, and Phil Hartman's the only one who is like, he just said he's gonna kill somebody. No, he didn't. He's eccentric. So I'm not trying to call you out, Lilypad, but Lil sent a text saying there is green screen awful Eiffel Tower, and I
sent that to you more to really just sort of drive home that this film really wants you to know that they're in France.
But they actually were. This is one of the first films from America that was filmed in Paris.
Right. I didn't necessarily know that until today.
All of it.
When you told me that before we started recording. And I thought, like, this probably would have been more hilarious, but I thought in my mind it was on like a soundstage, and like some producer with a cigar looked at the take and was just like, it's not Parisian enough. Put in the Eiffel Tower.
That would be Vincent Minnelli, who directed this film, the father of Liza Minnelli.
No shit.
And the ex-husband of Judy Garland.
No,
Wow.
You're right. No, that's all true. So I noticed at the very beginning of the film, they're like, with much appreciation to the Parisian cultural community or whatever for letting us film here. I did think there was a scene that was green screen though, when they were like in a car or something.
No,
That's the scene that we're talking about.
Right. Okay. So that was that green screen?
No, that was nope. No.
Huh.
The high def transfer did not do a good job restoring. No, this was all filmed in Paris. It was all filmed on location. That's why this won so many awards, because they're like, wow, can you believe that they took a bunch of cameras and brought the film overseas?
So it's expensive.
No one's ever shot outside of America before.
Wait, but what about all of those, westerns? But Sergio Leone is...
No one has ever done it.
No, those...
But Clint Eastwood...
Those all take place in Texas. Texas! They're not... Spaghetti westerns.
Not the Italian countryside.
No.
When you turned around for a second, and this is not going to be funny to anyone who doesn't have access to the Zoom, obviously.
And you never will.
Like, there's a piano directly behind him. I thought for real, like, Pat was going to turn and just, like, immediately just start pounding on the piano like fucking Don Music from Sesame Street.
You guys like Billy Joel?
Just so angry. It's just like, it's from Texas!
Hold on to the countryside. Because Vienna waits for you.
I can't believe I'm pulling Don Music references.
What was the fake Bruce Springsteen name they did for Baby We Were Born to Add?
I don't know.
What?
But yeah, going back to the movie, unfortunately. So the whole plot is that Maurice Chevalier's nephew is a womanizer who basically never settles down. And he always visits the home, like, he always visits Gigi's home to see Gigi's grandmother and Gigi.
Oh, he's not just any womanizer. He's a womanizer who's bored with women.
He's also a sugar magnet. He owns...
He's who we're supposed to be sympathizing with. A bored rich guy.
It took me way too long to realize the reason why he's always bringing her caramels is because he owns a sugar factory. So they make caramels.
Yeah.
That took me way too long. Literally, you know how long it took me? For us to be recording this podcast.
So he's a French guy who owns a sugar factory. I'm sure
in the 1900s.
In the 1900s, I'm sure the roots of that are totally not like fucking scary, terrible, and awful.
This is the worst version of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Really? Because Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is still pretty fucking bad.
Hey, there's blood all over these caramel wraps.
They sugar coated with all kinds of Sammy Davis Jr. songs all you want, but the fact remains Willy Wonka had used slave labor.
It's true. No, I mean, it's right there.
I thought you were going to talk about all the kids that get murdered in the chocolate factory.
That too. That factory is an OSHA nightmare.
They had it coming.
Wrong music.
Yeah, but this entire movie is like Gigi was like the first manic pixie dream girl. Like, she's a free spirit.
God, you're right.
Yeah.
I never thought of that, but that's true, isn't it?
Because only she can save him.
And it's specifically like making a point of like, this high society is trying to quash her free spirit, but he won't let it be quashed. He loves the free spirit.
Because she has a purse made out of a children's lunchbox.
So one of her first, like...
I think it says Josie and the Pussycats on it.
Yeah, that and like... I mean, between that and all of the like very, very Madeline-esque outfits that she's wearing, it feels like they're really going out of their way to really play up like the quirky, childish factor in a way that was...
She's dressed like if Annie Lennox was Madeline.
That's pretty good.
I mean, Annie Lennox would be a much more compelling like actress in this.
So,
because I already know Annie Lennox would not take any shit.
Well, Leslie Caron doesn't take any shit either.
Doobie doobie doo doo doo. Thank you.
No more I love yous. No more caramels. Oh, also his name is Gaston, so you have Maurice Chevalier.
I could not. Gaston.
I was waiting for like a guy, like his best friend sidekick, to show up and be like, "Wow, Gaston, you're really great."
I know.
Wow, great shot, Gaston. Gosh, it disturbs me to see you, Gaston, talking to this little girl.
But I'm right here in front of you, Gaston. I always thought that they should date.
Okay, so
I don't know.
Gaston and LeFou.
Yeah. They would have been so cute.
Yeah, but the movie opens up with Maurice Chevalier singing what is unfortunately the thing that this movie is known for, is the song.
I feel like we should wait till like the musical numbers part to talk about it. But wait. But in this case, I feel like we have to make an exception, because how the fuck are we supposed to wait to sit on talking about this?
It's the first thing you are introduced to.
Yeah.
Because Maurice Chevalier goes, "Oh, hello. Like, I didn't see you there. Welcome to my one-man show."
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here.
I thought I left the country and you could not find me.
I burned all the evidence. How was there still a paper trail?
Do you know what would have been great? Is if Peter Sellers showed up halfway through the movie as Clouseau, be like, "What are you doing here? I'm here too."
That's why I took on this stupid accent. I'm actually from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
What it's most famous for is
a song called "Thank Heaven for Little Girls."
Thank heaven for little girls. For little girls get bigger every day.
God, I hate this movie so fucking much.
Serge Gainsbourg was a French songwriter who like tricked singers into singing about like dick sucking and made pop songs out of it, and he did not write this song.
Yeah, this is an abomination, the song.
Well, the scene itself, I want to talk about the scene because he's singing the song next to the woman and her daughter. If I was that mother, I'd be like, "Let's get it. We're leaving."
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's go. This man smells like cigars and grape sweat. Let's go.
Well, here's the thing. Like, the song is not necessary for this film. It's
really not, is it?
No, it's not. It's so disturbing and so upsetting. And then he goes, "And that's Gigi." And then it's like, okay, what the fuck did this have to do with anything?
Oh, well then the reason why they sing that song is so they can have the reprise at the end of the film when the little girl is now bigger or something.
Yeah, that's how they
tie-in.
That's how they make it a nice little sandwich bookend. It opens with Maurice Chevalier going like, "Bonjour, I'm a creep," and then it closes out with him going like, "I'm still a creep. Bye bye."
Seriously,
It's
disgusting.
He is a bad, bad man.
Fucking disgusting.
And we let him get away with it because he's Maurice Chevalier.
But can someone please tell me how him and his family know Gigi and Gigi's grandmother?
I mean,
like they never say how Gaston knows this family.
Yeah,
and that's what's most upsetting.
I asked Gina the same question because I hinted at this to you guys in the group, but I was actually introduced to this film years ago by my wife Gina, because this was a film that she used to be shown by her dad a lot as a kid for some reason. Apparently, no other reason than that her dad is a little kooky and he likes and he was interested in French culture at the time, and apparently the song wasn't enough to bother him. But I think Gina always had like this is like a pretty gross, silly movie. I'm gonna try to shock Patrick with it someday, and yeah, I think from that first 3 minutes, not even. It's like, when does that song kick in? Like 90 seconds into the movie?
Yeah, like second 10.
Yeah, okay. Well, immediately, it's like heaven for little girls. I was shown this in like 2014, 2015 or something like that. And even then I was like, this is ridiculous. This is appalling. Like,
so as someone who watches a ton of movies, I have avoided this film like the plague. Like,
you should have.
This movie, I have never seen this movie until yesterday.
Really?
I absolutely, because this film is so disturbing. I don't like the moral of the story. I have a problem with the power dynamic thing. It's not right. And like, also, I just don't like the films of Vincent Minnelli too. But everything about this film is just so stupid and so inappropriate. Like, to the point where I don't know if you've ever heard of or seen the movie My Father the Hero.
No.
Is that the one with
Gerard Depardieu?
No, with Gerard Depardieu and like a 14-year-old Katherine Heigl.
It's his daughter. Yeah, she plays his daughter.
Yeah, I didn't.
No.
I haven't seen the movie, but I listened to the We Hate Movies episode on it, and yeah, it's a disgusting plot.
Ugh.
That's the other reason why this song is also famous, because of that movie, which is another disturbing thing.
Gerard Depardieu, a considerably less delightful French gentleman who is a creep.
Do you know that he's considered the John Malkovich of France?
Oh, boy.
No, that's fine. That makes sense. It's France.
But, like, everything about the opening of this film lets you know right away, well, if you thought you were coming to see a sweet musical that's a love story, you were wrong. Because we're going to just make everyone uncomfortable for the next 2 hours. This film is 2 hours long.
Yeah, this film didn't need 2 hours to say what little it had to say.
Yeah, but it was absolutely framed as a lighthearted, as like, oh, this is just what the French do. This is just what this is just how things used to be. Like, it's so quaint. It's so silly. And I guess whenever this came out in 1958, that for whatever reason, that probably captivated audiences just because of like how, like just the power of conservatism in America and just a sort of fascination with like.
It was the 1950s, so I think people were still just delighted to be seeing color.
Oh, that too, yeah, and just to hear like little fanciful songs about France and little girls.
Every movie from the 50s that like made money back then basically had to be like a big spectacle.
Yeah.
That's how you that I assume is how you ended up with shit like, The Greatest Show on Earth or stuff like that.
Yep. Well, the other thing, so Leslie Caron was 26 when she made this movie, And one of the last films she made was... Has anyone seen the film Chocolat?
Chocolat? I have not.
It was one of her last movies, and she made Chocolat at the same age as Maurice Chevalier was.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, Chocolat's a great film.
Oh, yeah?
Chocolat is basically about a single mother who comes to a small French town and makes chocolate during Lent, when everyone's not supposed to be eating candy. But she makes their lives better.
But then they went to hell for eating the candy, right?
Oh, yeah, they don't show you that part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Like, the movie ends with, like, the end, and then all of a sudden, whoa!
Yeah, it ends like a Jack Chick comic where Satan just pops up and it's just like, you're the one who was wrong.
Can we talk about Ava Gabor?
Yeah, she plays like is she like the who does Ava Gabor play in this? She's not the shitty aunt, is she?
No, she is Gaston's first girlfriend who is dating her ski instructor.
Or
ice skating instructor.
So he's the one that he is a piece of shit to. And revels in her attempting to commit suicide.
That's another thing that's so disturbing about... First off, let me reiterate again. This film is rated G. And they talk about suicide. And they treat it...
Yeah, just completely
I haven't
non-plus.
seen you since the suicide.
Where... suicide is a very serious topic,
right.
and honestly, anyone who is suffering from depression should get help. They treat this like it is a punchline, and it is so upsetting. And anyone who listens to this podcast to hear me make jokes, I am sorry that you have to hear me be upset and angry about this. But, Lilz, have you ever seen me this upset?
Not in a really long while.
Yeah. I am so pissed right now.
Wow.
But... the one thing that I did enjoy about Ava Gabor is she is dressed like Miss Bianca, the character she would go on to play in Rescuers and Rescuers Down Under. Her last outfit is literally the fuzzy
You know what?
hat.
Oh, that's right.
That's absolutely right. I had not thought of that. She does kind of have like the little fuzzy hat.
But Bernard! I mean, Gaston. Wouldn't it be great if Bob Newhart just showed up and was like, I'm Miss Bianca. I've always loved you.
I mean, and then the movie.
I am a mouse.
And then the movie just started following them, and then it became and then it became the Rescuers, and then it was a much better movie.
Yeah.
And they go down
Getting
under.
off topic because I really need to get off topic.
They go down under.
Can
Yeah.
I be in this movie too? I could voice a big pelican or something.
You were dead by 1972.
Okay.
So, do you prefer Rescuers or Rescuers Down Under?
Rescuers Down Under.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a much better film than Rescuers.
Better written, better animated. Actually,
Better villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, of course.
But
John
of the
Candy.
two films, it tanked.
Yeah, that sucks.
Do you know why?
Why is that?
It opened the same day as Home Alone.
Oh.
It's true. It's true. I saw it in theaters, actually. I saw the Rescuers Down Under when it came out.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. So I saw it one day, and then the next day I saw Home Alone.
Oh, look at you. A little movie buff. Little baby movie buff.
Yep, but there is one movie that I refuse to watch until today.
You had a chance to see Gigi like the next day after all that?
No! 4-year-old me was like, no!
Triple feature, Home Alone, Rescuers Down Under, and then Gigi.
That little 4-year-old is standing up, tearing up his program because apparently this is also 1958, and walking out.
Like, you would have just been bored to death. I think I was bored the first time. So when I was shown this for the first time, I think I fell asleep because I had to obviously watch this again, and I completely forgot everything except for the damn opening song.
I fell asleep last night. I had to refinish this morning because I fell asleep. Honestly, this is a movie that I wish I just stayed asleep during to have you guys talk, and I'd just be sitting here and go like, Yep. Got nothing to say. Yep.
I did not fall asleep, but there were multiple instances where I very nearly did, because, like, I was watching it while I was still very flu-y from, being sick and all that sort of stuff. And
With the flu?
Like, I don't think it's the flu, but I definitely had, like, kind of feverish sort of symptoms at certain points. I think it's just a cold.
Honestly, let's pretend we all had the flu and this was just a fever dream.
So we could call out sick from recording this podcast?
Yeah.
No, this is just a fever dream.
I mean, might as well. And I definitely, to like tie it back to like the 2-hour sort of thing we were talking about, there were multiple points where, like, because like I watched it, I smartly did not pay money to see this. Normally I rent the movies on Vudu. I found a copy on archive.org that I was able to just watch.
Oh, you lucky duck.
Yep. And every so often I would just get up and just be like, anytime like my attention just like snapped back into focus, I would just be like, oh, okay, surely there must not be that much more. It's only been 40 minutes.
There were at least one or two songs that they absolutely could and should have cut from this movie, and it would have not that it would have been better,
to
but
be
like,
sure.
There were like a couple of songs that were just absolutely unnecessary. They didn't do anything to drive the plot. They were just like useless.
Can I pitch a version that I think you would all like? It just opens up with Maurice Chevalier going, "Oh, hello, goodbye," and then the end.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, hello, goodbye. Shortest Oscar-winning film ever.
Oh, hello. Would you like to hear a story? No?
No?
Okay, thanks for your time.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
I'll just sit here having more cheese.
Your Maurice Chevalier started going to Mr. Kakashka from Hey Arnold.
Yeah. So, like, there really isn't much of a plot here because...
No, it's he's a piece of shit who really needs to stop being a womanizer and settle down.
He's a piece of shit, and society is enabling him to be a piece of shit.
And the aunt wants Gigi to be exactly like her, which is a horrible person, and Gigi's like, no. And she just wants to, be a kid. Like, at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. But instead, he's like,
right.
She's forced to like kind of be groomed by this guy who, like we said, we have no idea what Gaston's connection is with the family, other than that, like
he just shows up.
He's friends with the old lady for some reason. This like 26-year-old guy is.
I feel like if they went into it, that would have made it too real, and then they would have actually felt Then they actually would have felt bad about it.
Well, it was his uncle used to date her. And he and Gaston just like the woman.
So Maurice Chevalier is probably used to date the grandmother.
They even talk about it.
Oh, they do talk about
There's
it.
there's a whole song about it.
Oh, right, duh, that's right. And he forgets all the details of their first date, and he's like, "Oh, it was a great time, wasn't it?" It's like, you don't fucking remember shit, man. You were drunk.
Was it? I think it happened this way.
I think I drank too much wine. You were sober. What happened?
You fucking ruined my life is what happened. Did I? Oh, I don't think that's how it went. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, yes, I had the most delightful
I think we had a tremendous time. And also I had a jetpack.
Hello, Mr. President. Oh, yes. I have time. Yes, hold on.
Yes, I can be in Washington right away.
Yes, President Mitterrand. Why are you in Washington? Also, he wasn't the president whenever that
Hello,
was.
Pulitzer Prize Committee. Oh, another one, but I have so many as it is.
Now you're going into Doofenshmirtz.
Again, a much better character.
Yeah. So there isn't
Harry the Platypus.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
Yeah, there isn't really much of a plot to this film because the main character, Gaston, doesn't really have much of a development beyond he is like, I'm going to stop being a womanizer and settle down with this teenage woman. Like, maybe he should have just stayed a womanizer. Because, like, yeah, he would have maybe, like...
Once again, this film should have ended with Chris Hansen and the crew of To Catch a Predator being like, hey, fella, come with us. Have a seat.
Yes, sir.
Have a seat.
Well, like, he starts out the film not really having any sort of personality whatsoever, and he ends also not having any sort of tangible personality whatsoever, but he basically goes, okay, I'll stop doing the reprehensible thing now.
Well, this is a film. First off, the movie's called Gigi. Do you know how long she's actually in the movie for? Because the first 47 minutes, she is only in 5 minutes of the film.
Yeah, she doesn't show up for a bit.
Yeah, for almost an hour into the movie, she doesn't show up. And we're following him, and it's like, oh, my mistress is cheating on me. Because they never say that it's his mistress. They make it seem like Ava Gabor is his girlfriend. And then you find out, no, he is a womanizer. He has a mistress. It's like, these people are all fucking awful.
So
They're just all awful.
I think one of my favorite songs in the film is a Gigi solo track, like where she
A Gigi solo joint.
yeah, where like the basic sentiment of the song is like, why are the French so terminally horny? Like, why does everything need to be about romance? Why does everything need to be about love? Why are they constantly thinking?
Once
about this?
again, a G-rated movie.
Right, a G-rated movie about a child wondering why everyone is
she
so
literally
goddamn
just
horny.
asks Gaston up front at one point, and I'm sure like it had a much more quaint sort of 1950s, oh, better dilly in a pickle in a barrel sort of thing definition connotation to it. But she literally just says to Gaston at one point, how often do you think about making love? That should be a record scratch moment.
All the
In a film, in a film that's not
No.
in a film that's not in the 1950s.
So I have my notes out. Do you know what I have written? And I really hope this is the title of this episode. No. 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 No.
just the sound of this movie being hit with a newspaper on the snout. No. No. Bad. Bad puppy. Bad puppy.
It's more of the bow and yang.
Yeah, the title
bow and yang. I can't even talk today. The bow and yang in a sketch on SNL going, no.
Yeah, the title of this episode can be like the audible sound of finger wagging.
It has to be no.
Angered finger wagging. Go think about what you did.
That's the title of this episode. Ugh. Fat.
Yeah. Like I said,
But it would come after Pat's name, so it would be like guest Pat Barry. Fat.
That's fine. That's fine. It could be my honorific Patrick Scott Barry. Ugh. Patrick Scott Barry. No.
On a new episode of Hell is a Musical, we barf and never stop barfing.
You know what this just reminds me of?
What that?
Oh, what a night. There I was, about to watch this film. You know what I shouldn't have done? Watch this movie, because there ain't enough soap.
There ain't enough soap in the whole of Philly. Believe me, I checked, walking around with my wrench out.
There ain't enough.
Trying to clean my brain.
I tried to find a 10-gallon bucket of lye. The biggest I could find was 8, so I just dunked my eyes directly in that. I wish I had 2 more gallons of lye at least to bleach the fucking bullshit from my eyes, and I just went,
Oh, what
There I was, with Dr. Merziak from Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind, trying to get my brain erased. But man, the power went out.
I was 6 cents short.
Oh, what a night.
and there
Just
I was.
my luck.
And there I was. With,
Wandering around looking for someone to fight me with a wrench so that they could batter it out of me. But nope, everyone was too chill. What a night.
I tried picking a fight with a 15-year-old who had a fork that was a bit bent so he could just take my eyeballs out. He didn't quite have enough force behind him, and he also said he had to go to soccer practice.
Better luck next time, Dylan. Better luck next time.
Good luck with his studies,
I realized. Do you know when we started this bit? It was on Pat's first episode.
Oh yeah, that's
it was Emmett Otter's.
Oh my
God. The only way that
You're right.
The only way that this movie should exist is if it was Muppets. If it was Emmett Otter's, Gigi.
Can you pick who? That begs the question, which Muppet? Oh, Emmett Otter. So it would be original Muppets, because for a second I thought you meant Muppet Show Muppets sort of stuff, and that
no, this would all be marmots,
and that just begs the question of which Muppet would be gross enough to be able to play Gaston. And
that pig from Pigs in Space.
I was going to suggest Pepe the Prawn.
There's a prawn on that program?
Maybe it's filled with chocolate, okay?
He's one of the new Muppets.
Well, he's from Muppets Tonight.
Yeah,
still newer than Gonzo.
I don't watch that woke shit, okay?
Anyways, yeah, this. Let's just get into the tracks. Let's just
get into the track list.
Have we even touched upon the rest of the plot?
There's no
Who
plot.
gives a shit?
There's no fucking plot.
There's no plot.
Okay, guys, here's the plot. This rich bored guy is so bored, so his uncle challenges him to get with this girl who he's been grooming for basically the past 10 years anyway, unquestioned amount of time. Who knows how long he's been hanging out in the household.
Yeah, now that I think of it, it is basically the same thing as My Fair Lady, because it also has the plot point oh no, I've fallen in love with this object.
Yeah, that's the idea. Is
I've fallen in love with this thing that I had previously thought was just a plaything. What? Could it be possible that she even has agency?
No way, absolutely not.
Not in the 50s.
She's too much of a free spirit. We need to give her a lobotomy at once.
Even at one point, she does the Natalie Portman from Garden State, the whole blah, 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 blah. She is a manic pixie dream girl.
Oh, yeah. I remember that scene in the movie. That's approximately when I turned it off that first time I watched it.
Then there was that scene where she, goes up to Gaston and says, "You've got to hear this song. It is the best song ever.
It is the shins."
Hang up the chick habit.
It's just new slang, but with a French accent.
Good, 'tis and a curse for this town.
Isn't that just Phoenix?
All in my mouth.
That's just Phoenix.
Only I don't know how.
Isn't that just Phoenix?
They got out, dear. Turn me back into the pet.
I was happy as I. The Shins with Maurice Chevalier as the lead singer. I don't know if that's a good idea or a horrible idea.
Oh, this is a simple song.
Oh, yeah. When he's 120 years old.
And we still can't just behave ourselves, even if to save our own lives. We are a brutal kind. Okay, we'll get into the tracks now. I'm looking at the musical numbers section on Wikipedia, which is kind of dumb anyway, because they include overture as a song.
Yeah, they did back then in the 1950s.
Should I count that or just keep moving on?
Yeah, count it.
All right. That brings us to musical number 1, Overture, played by the MGM Studio Orchestra.
Once again, that line killed 3 people while they were making that.
Really? I did not know that. I'm not surprised.
I think I bring it up every time we do an MGM movie.
And frankly, my sympathies lie further with the lion.
Well, skill issue.
Nope, no one was treating animals right back then.
Yeah, you know that that poor lion was probably out of it, and they're like, poke it. Oh God,
I don't belong here. I am so many miles away from my homeland.
I'm supposed to be laying down in the Serengeti while my wife gets my food for me. For God's sake. The lion. We're talking about the lion, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they do. The dude lions are lazy shitheads. They don't do shit.
Oh, look, a grip.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You will have to do.
Wow, those lions must be union. I'm just kidding.
It's a basic overture. It's upsetting because of what it leads into.
What do you say about this that you wouldn't also say about any other film that has an overture?
It's an overture. It's a movie.
Yep.
No.
They are like the orchestra that perform this are probably the least tainted by this.
No, I'm
Maybe.
actually gonna call out the second viola player who contributed to.
Oh yeah, that guy's a prick.
No, he's a prick. He is 100% responsible for Thank Heaven for Little Girls and creating that.
Oh yeah, it's entire. Forget everything we said about this about Vincent Minnelli and all that sort of stuff. It all falls upon the second viola player.
Yeah. So
Well, my question is, do you think that
Let him inherit this film's grim legacy.
yeah, take that.
Well, Vincent Minnelli was making this movie.
Gerald Hampton.
Do you think Liza showed up? Like 7 or 8-year-old Liza Minnelli
Oh, yeah.
showed up and was like, Daddy, why are you making this movie, Daddy?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I think she was
She talked that way in her single digits too.
I'm this many.
Oh man, that brings us into number 2. I'm not gonna call it number. Track number 2, except not really. Honore's soliloquy. That's Maurice Chevalier's character's name. Honore.
Yep.
We've already kind of touched upon that. Him just basically going like, "Hello, fine. I've got a captive audience. You guys want to be here, right?"
I have the lock to the key. The door is locked and you can't go anywhere.
As a matter of fact, gulp. Aha, no key for you.
Mr. Theater Manager knows what to do. You're gonna hear my goddamn story.
I've got some things to say and you're gonna hear them. After that,
I don't know if he's angry or if he's happy.
That brings us into number 3, the unfortunate Thank Heaven for Little Girls.
Thank heaven, thank heaven, thank heaven, thank heaven.
Yuck. Ugh. God damn it. Okay. So, let's get into it. Who wrote this song, Lilz?
According to Wikipedia, written by Alan Jay Lerner and Frederick Lowe.
They better be on the list.
I mean, who's to say?
They better be dead at least, if not in jail.
So, going back to the scene.
Oh, yeah,
when
they're
he's
both dead.
Oh, good.
They're both long dead.
When he is singing the song, that mother should have just been like, come on, we're leaving. Do you know what I'm talking about when he sits down on the bench with... Yeah. And the mother's like, oh, Maurice Chevalier. She should have been like, we're leaving.
He just gets a little too close to a child. He's just like, hello, nice to see you. The mother should have been like, we're leaving. Do not acknowledge that strange man.
They're going to turn him into a candlestick in a Disney movie.
I don't care how delightful he seems riding around on his little bicycle with his cigarette. Ignore him. Here's something that disappoints me. In the mid-1990s, according to Wikipedia, a contemporary take on the song was recorded by the Seattle-based alternative band Ruby for a Mountain Dew commercial in the U.S.
What? I've never even heard of Ruby.
Yeah.
Thank heaven for little girls get bigger every day.
I think I remember that commercial.
Oh, boy.
I think they're snowboarding.
Thank heaven for little girls.
Because it was supposed to be for extreme sports, and she has a snowboard with a parachute, and she jumps off a cliff.
Oof. The 90s, right?
Yep.
Radical.
And then Maurice Chevalier just flies by on a snowmobile going, I'm here too! Ha ha!
You don't have a parachute.
Uh-oh!
Oh, no.
And nothing of value was lost. After
Well, you know who they based Pepe Le Pew after?
Maurice Chevalier?
Yeah.
Of course.
B.
So, like,
Indeed. After that, we got track number 4, It's a Bore, sung by Maurice Chevalier, Louis Jourdan, and John Abbott.
Climbing up to the sky over 90 stories high.
How many stories?
90.
How many yesterday?
90.
And tomorrow?
90.
It's a bore.
The river Seine.
All it can do is flow.
But think of wine.
It's red or white.
This is the point where I realized that not only was this film abhorrent, it's also just really stupid.
so I'm gonna just sit back. I'm not gonna say anything about any of the remaining tracks. You two talk amongst yourselves. Like, I'm just.
Really? You're giving us full reign? That seems like a bad idea.
It's a terrible idea, but if I say anything, I'm just gonna scream. Like,
Yeah.
this is.
Well, like this.
Guess what my rating is?
This-
Because
this number is basically just like, Gaston and Honoré just going back and forth, just like, oh, what about this thing? I don't like it. Well, what about this thing? I don't like it either.
What color will it be
Sure.
tomorrow? It will be green. Oh, what about this? The stinky underwear. Oh, will it stink tomorrow? Yes. I don't know.
Yeah, this one sucks. That brings us to track number 5, The Parisians.
I don't understand the Parisians making love every time they get the chance. I don't understand the Parisians wasting every lovely night on romance. Anytime and under every tree in town.
That's the one that...
this is the Gigi song.
Yep. That's the Gigi song. That's her, like, I want something more song. Where she's just like, gee, like,
Just like Madeline.
and she's like, it's basically just an extended version of her just saying, like, put it back in your pants,
Yeah.
France.
Once again, this film is rated G.
Oh boy.
Gigi.
That was the one you said, like, I guess that has something like honorable about that it's like the only song that gives Gigi any sort of agency like that, but still not great.
What do I need?
Once
somebody
again,
needs to
Manic
get
Pixie
taken,
Dream Girl. She's going to a Belle and Sebastian concert.
I need to be taken care of. I'm someone who needs to be taken care of. That was like the one line of agency I remember her saying in the movie. I don't even remember when it happens.
She just wants a purpose.
Well, God, who
Because-
who doesn't?
And
She doesn't want to be
it's
taken
the ni-
care of.
and
She,
it's
the fact that her aunt and her grandmother make her take these classes where she thinks she wants to be
Hey,
taken
can I
care
like
of.
go to
and it's-
school or like maybe like read a couple? No, that's enough.
No, smoke these cigars.
That's all you need to know.
Hey.
You have to learn how to drink.
And-
Also, that's one thing we didn't talk about is the fact that Gigi keeps wanting to drink alcohol.
Oh yeah, she drinks
so that
quite
she
a
can
bit.
think that she's in another movie. So that she gets drunk enough to think that she's in another movie.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
So yeah, there's like a couple scenes where there's like, tee hee, the child is getting drunk. Not that funny. I don't know.
No, it's not.
Like she's an adult.
No,
like
it's
the
not.
actress herself is an adult, so it doesn't seem that bad. But like the idea
Yes.
of like, again, like there's so many things about this movie that they try to paint like as being lighthearted, but it's actually like pretty fucked up.
I feel like some.
But 'cause-
I feel like some film historian would bring up like the little canard of like, oh, it's different over the drinking age is different over in France. That doesn't help.
But because you can also tell that Leslie Caron, you can tell she's almost 30. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah.
Gigi looks like a 25-year-old woman.
See, I think
Yeah,
it would
basically.
have been funnier if Gigi was like 35 and she acted like that, and it's like,
If it was like Barbara Streisand and Yentl.
there we go.
What's the age
just a little
difference in
quirky.
Yentl?
So Yentl is supposed to be the book. Yentl is a 16-year-old girl. but Barbara Streisand was 40 when she played the role.
Boy.
So they aged Yentl up to 26 because Barbara can play 26,
I can
right?
do 26. Listen, just
Barbara, you're 42.
slap some foundation on me. Come on, and I'll drink a lot of water this week.
So that was basically like an early Dear Evan Hansen situation.
Well, when we do Yentl in a month or two, we'll get to
Please
it.
do Yentl.
I'm a teenager.
Oh, we're doing Yentl with David Allen Prescott.
Oh boy. After that, we got track number 6, The Gossips.
There's a wretched man, Louis de la Tour, with his latest horrible amour. Isn't she a mess? Isn't she a sight? Let's invite them out tomorrow night.
Oh yeah.
Stupid song.
Yep. Very dumb.
Yep.
Oh yeah. That's when they have this.
Could we maybe skip to the last track?
But then we'd be skipping so many important songs, like, but no, not that. This no.
Yeah.
No, not that one. No.
Yeah.
This no.
The Gossips was that was the song where like they're at the soiree and like they keep like
Maxime's.
yeah, and they keep like pausing to like like whisper to each other like the little gossip. Yeah, that shit was pretty corny. I remember
It's completely pointless.
Yeah, that was one of the songs again that they could have taken out, but they were like, oh, this is like something they were trying to say something about society. They were like, oh. We're trying to say something here.
Bad-mouthing people.
Yeah, like I guess it's like, oh, these people act like they have it all, but they're actually all bad-mouthing each other. Did you know that? Did you know that rich people, like, did you know that like rich snobby people talk shit about each other? Did you know that? I had no idea.
I mean,
wow,
it could be assumed.
Wow,
everyone does that.
Everybody does it, and there's literally a whole industry based off of the tabloids and like
there probably was like some cigar flecked producer that looked at that and thought like, hey, it makes them it humanizes them and they're just like us.
Can I get us off track?
I wish you would.
So, first off, this is now the time. This time period when they were making this film was the time period of like Truman Capote.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So Haley and I have been watching the FX show Feuds, Capote versus the Swans.
Gina's been watching that. I keep poking in and out. I keep meaning to watch it.
And I can't stop doing Truman Capote impressions. So the whole time I'm just filled with ennui and boredom because, this film is awful. This film is terrible. I'm saying to myself, Gigi, darling, you need to get out of there. Go to America.
That's fucking amazing.
I can't stop doing the voice, and Haley's like, you gotta stop. So now when I call my dad,
that makes it so much funnier that Haley is getting irritated by it.
I can't stop doing it. Like, it just happens out of nowhere. So I called my dad the other day. I'm like, hello, father. It's your son. It's your baby boy. And he's like, stop, don't Truman Capote. You're too good at it.
I can't. I think I might have some sort of mental disorder now.
I'm
suffering a psychotic episode, Daddy. Please don't call me that.
I don't like this at all. I'm Droopy Dog now.
Or Joe Lieberman.
So there I was with Edith Bouvier, and I said, little Edie, you need to stop going to the movies because Gigi is not that good of a film.
Should I just skip all the rest of the tracks, or should I keep going?
Lily Pad, can you read it really fast like the Micro Machines Man?
Oh, I could try. Track number 7, She Is Not Thinking of Me. Track number 8, The Night They Invented Champagne. Track number 9, I Remember It Well. Track number 10, Gaston Soliloquy. Track number 11, Gigi. Track number 12, I'm Glad I'm Not Young Anymore. Track number 13, Say a Prayer for Me Tonight. Track number 14, Thank Heaven for the Little Girls Reprise.
All right. Yeah. So, oh man. Yeah. There are a couple of doozies in there. First of all, the night they invented champagne or whatever, they invented it for us. for us to for this very evening that I'm a child and you're an old person and I'm about to be taken advantage of. That was a thoroughly disturbing number, and then actually that was one of the songs that I thought should have been cut, and then the other one was like whatever, like Thank God I'm Not Younger Anymore or whatever. What was it called?
I'm glad I'm not young anymore.
I'm glad I'm not young anymore, which is like a beautiful, disgusting sentiment, like side B to Thank Heaven for Little Girls. Thank God I'm not young anymore. What the fuck is your problem?
I believe the original song was called God Gave Rock and Roll to You. Please cut in rock and roll to you.
Yeah.
Would I be wrong in thinking, by the way, that Gene Simmons would probably adore this film?
I think he's talked about this movie.
I really think he
Oh,
has,
no.
actually. I'm sure.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I was making a joke.
Does he do a cover of it on his, like... I feel like he has a solo album that he does, like, either show tunes
we all know
or
how
something like that.
Yeah, we all know what Gene Simmons sounds like. So hi, it's me. It's me, Gene Simmons.
Look at how
and
long
I'm so glad to be here.
How long my tongue is. Yeah, I thought the like I'm glad I'm not young anymore song that absolutely should have been cut for time. Like at the very least, that was. Like I'm nitpicking at this point, but like that should have that was like probably one of the biggest wastes of time was like having to sit through that, and it was just to give Maurice Chevalier another moment to be like
To justify his starring credit.
yeah, basically.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Cats is a better movie, musical than this film.
Wow.
Cats.
Oh, boy.
I was like, after the film was done, Haley goes, Jesus, you look pissed. And I'm like, oh, I am.
Put on Cats.
I need to be put on Cats, goddammit. I need to see Busterford Jones and Skimbleshanks and Jenny Anydots.
And Magical Mr. Mistopheles. How could you forget?
Just imagining Haley just like leaning over, just like, are you angry? Yes! Scott Angie!
No, darling, I'm so upset right now. I'm so sorry, my love.
Sounds like it's about time to rate this thing.
So we have So we have a rating system on this podcast. If it's do I have to? We're going with Hell is a Musical, right?
I think without question.
Oh, this has to be round robin. Hell is a Musical.
Or if we create a new category, this is like the seventh circle of hell.
I mean, if you'll recall in the... I forget which episode it was, but I proposed... No, wait, it was the Moulin Rouge episode. I proposed a new category for something that is just beyond belief. Just
I thought it was Cats.
No, it was Moulin Rouge, and I think I was the only one who thought this, but like for a musical that's just so beyond belief, whether bad or just completely nonsensical, you go, hell is this musical?
Yeah, this is what the hell was that musical?
Hell is this musical?
The fuck
or
is that?
in the words of Krusty the Clown, what the hell was that?
Pretty much. What the hell was that?
I can't believe that. I wasted 2 hours of my life. I said to myself, Truman, darling, why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah, this is Heck is a Musical. This is Hell is a Musical. So what I think is interesting is this won Oscars probably solely based on I think it did well at the box office, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This was a huge hit.
It had a budget of $3.3 million. It made $13.2 million.
Damn.
And
this film was such a success, too.
That's in 1950s dollars.
All right.
Yeah. This film was such a success. Two people who were living in squalor, the Bouvier sisters, saw this movie 3 times in theaters.
Wow. You're right. Okay, so this is what was a very popular film for mostly aesthetic reasons. It's an expensive film. It was filmed on location in Paris, and there's a lot of expensive set designs. The scenery, is supposed to stick out to you. That one room that they're in at the grandmother's house with like red damask wallpaper is like very intense. but it's all very gaudy. It's all very like obviously expensive, and it's funny because there's an element. So this takes place in 1900, which was would have been the Gilded Age in America, but like basically all kind of throughout Western culture in general. So there's sort of a lot of similar Gilded Age sentiments happening in Paris as well, and
yeah, you're saying it wrong. It's not the Gilded Age; it's the Gilded Age.
Gilded Age. Oh, we twirl our mustaches. So
have you seen the TV show The Gilded Age?
I've seen bits and pieces of it. It's a great program. I need to.
I haven't seen it. As I understand it, it's basically like American Downton Abbey.
It is same creator, but Nathan Lane plays a Southern dandy gentleman. And it talks like this, and it goes, "Honey, our children are rich, and they smell like money, and they're good looking."
The series is great because it ends like the way it should, which is like, what are all these damn anarchists doing here? Oh, what are they doing with that dynamite? Oh my God! Now. So yeah, it takes place during that time period, and there's a sort of like new money versus old money antagonism that happens, that you get a little element of when Gigi's like, oh, what's her name? Maxime is common, or something like that, and it's sort of like it's a very subtle, but like I could tell that like Gigi comes from nobility, basically, or like she kind of comes from.
She
money.
does, but they have no money anymore. So maybe. Do you think that's
old
why the Bouvier sisters related to this film so much?
But Scott, that's what being old money is. You used to have money. You don't have the money anymore.
Right.
But you have all the stuff, and you have the honor, and like you're known for having money. You don't actually have the fucking money anymore.
Exactly. Like the Bouvier sisters. Do you think that's why they saw this movie so many times?
No, they probably identified with it.
In little Edie's mind, she is Gigi.
She is Gigi, and she's poking fun at these like new money like hacks who like, oh, these guys are like white trash with money, and stuff like that. And what's I think ironic about that sentiment is like probably the same sentiment that like drove the popularity of this film of it being like obviously gaudy, obviously expensive, probably a bunch of newly, like, not wealthy, but like, middle class families with disposable income could go out and go see a movie and like, and pretend to be in Paris for a couple hours or whatever. And just a strange observation that I had about like the time period that this came out in the late 50s, and just like the like backward commentary it's trying to make. Anyway, all in all, this is a gaudy piece of trash sort of musical to me. It's all money. It's all like what is it?
Like so many other 1950s musicals and blockbusters.
Yeah, and it's just all style, no substance. You're kind of left with I was like bored the first time I saw it. I fell asleep through it, and really the only thing that kind of sticks with you is the scenery and the awful fucking music.
I remembered what the fourth musical was that I didn't run by you. It was Little Abner.
Oh Christ!
What?
Like the
based on the comic strip?
There was a musical of Little Abner.
Oh God, that sounds awful.
What the fuck?
That sounds so lame.
Wow, you nailed it. That sounds so lame. I don't know what else can be said except that sounds like, so lame.
No, like the only thing worse than that would be like Ziggy the musical.
Did you know that in the 80s there was a Doonesbury musical?
I had heard about that. I cannot. There is no reality in which that's good.
Is that like the Far Side live action film that they tried to make?
Yeah.
God, the screen tests from that are very good.
Well, in the 60s, Blake Edwards tried to make Breakfast at Tiffany's a musical. That's why Moon River is a song in there. But Truman Capote was like, no, please don't do it.
Oh, I didn't know they were going to
Anyways,
Did you say that just so you could get one more Truman Capote impression in?
Yes, darling. Anyways, Pat, you want to promote anything before we get out of here?
No, I'm not really doing much right now. Stay tuned for like a new Patrick Scott Barry album in like the next year or year and a half, depending on like things on how. Basically, if my kid learns to talk a little more, I can like tell him to stop like going to the trash can, and then I can like do stuff for a few minutes. But until then, I have to chase him around the house and tell him to not go into things. It's been a struggle. It's been a real struggle having to tell this child no, because the more frustrated I get, the more he laughs at me and he thinks it's really funny. So that's like I'm just fucked from the get-go.
I mock your frustration, Father.
Ha ha, Papa! Ha ha ha!
You cannot control me, Father. Ho 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 ho.
It's very cute. He's a good kid otherwise, but I'm otherwise, yeah, I'm very busy with stuff like that right now. But yeah, stay tuned for new music eventually. Thanks for having me on. This was a hoot. I haven't done a podcast in a while.
Lily Pad, you got anything going on?
The my little 365 albums in 2023 exercise is long over by this point, and like my mental health's in a much better place than it was last year. So now I'm actually working on music again. So maybe
awesome.
Take a look out for that.
That's always good.
And I got my other podcasts. You know what they are. I hated this movie so much. Can we tease our next episode? What do we got coming up next, Lily Pad?
Next time we are doing Earth Girls Are Easy.
No,
Much better.
is that Jim Carrey? That movie.
Oh, it's Jim Carrey, it's Jeff Goldblum, it's Damon Wayans, and it's Gina Davis, and it was written by Julie Brown.
Dude, that's a Comedy Central like 90s, early 2000s classic. They used to play that all the time.
That and Transylvania 5000. But yeah. So remember, if you're upset and angry and just don't understand why 1950 musicals were so fucking weird, you were watching Gigi.
I love that song. Now let's split a cab, Truman Capote.
Okay, we're leaving now. Come on, Maurice. With Lilz and Scott.
Zero science.